उद्घाट्य योगकलया हृदयाब्जकोशं धन्यैश्चिरादपि यथारुचि गृह्यमाणः यः प्रस्फुरत्यविरतं परिपूर्णरूपः श्रेयस्समे दिशतु शाश्वतिकं मुकुन्दः. We have to start with the Paryayokta alankara. I think we finished with Aprastuta Prashamsa. Yeah. Oh, Prastuta Ankura. Yeah. And we finished with Prastuta Ankura alankara. Now we have to move on to Paryayoktam. Paryayokta is always a way of, or a roundabout way of saying things. Okay. In a very beautiful manner. Directa solradhukku badala you are twisting the words and you are making an indirect connection to the words. So the first type is that Prathamam Paryayoktam. Paryayoktam tu Gamyasya Vachaha Bhangyantara Ashrayam. So Gamyasya Vachaha. That which you, the suggested is the actual Vivaksha. And that Gamya, that is Pratiyamanam. That Gamyasya Vivakshita Arthasya Bhangyantara Ashrayam Vachaha. Bhangyantara Ashrayam na Bhangi nale it is a kind of bhangi is charutarena tatra chamatkara yuktena vachasa uktihi eva paryayuktihi. Paryayanale or chuttardu artham. So in a different manner. Bhangyantara ashrayam vachaha vivakshitat api charutarena prakarena abhidhanam paryayuktam. If instead of saying directly, there is another roundabout manner in which the words that the poet wants to say are expressed in a charutarena, in a more beautiful manner. So charutarena prakarena abhidhanam paryayoktam. This is paryayokti alankara. So paryayena bhangyantarena. Paryayena is equal to bhangyantarena in a different manner. Kudusa and madri vardu. Paryayena in a different way of saying it. Okay. So uktam, paryayena uktam abhihitam vivakshitam yatra iti vyutpattehe. Yatra yasmin kavye, in that kavyam which where vivakshitam, that which is desired to say to be conveyed by the poet is being conveyed in a roundabout manner. Yena, the example given here is namastasmai kritau yena mudha rahu vadhu kuchau. So namaha tasmai namaha. He wants to do a namaskaram to Vasudeva or Vishnu here. So tasmai namaha, or namaskarams to Vishnu here. But the way he expresses it, he doesn't say Vishnu, Vasudevaha, Jagannathaha, Mukundaha, ityadikam tu tatra ityadi namani na upayuktani, kintu katham atra Vishnuhu nirdishyate iti chet, yena rahuvadhu kuchau mudha kritau. The Rahuhu is the head, and the body portion, neck down, is Ketu. So when Vishnu took the avataram of Mohini, and he wanted to distribute the Amritam to everybody, Apo, one of the Asuras moved to the Deva's camp. He took on the disguise of a Deva and stood at the end of the Deva's camp. So realize, and Mohini had given an Amritam also, and then people realize who it is. The moment they realize, Vishnu cut off his head away. Now those two parts became two separate parts here. So the top portion is Rahu, and then the bottom portion is Ketu. So this these are the two in the Navagrahas. These are the two of them, Rahu and Ketu. Now Rahu is only the head portion. He does not have any hands at all. So Rahu Vadhu Kuchau, the Rahu's wives' breasts are Mudha Kritau. They are futile today because he does not have the hands to touch and feel. So that is why they have been rendered a waste here. So yena Vishnuna Rahuvadhu Kuchau Mudha Vyarthau Kritau. Rahoho Shiromatra Avasheshat Karanat. Because he had rendered Rahu to be only his head. Tatha tasmat Rahuvadhu Kuchau Stanabhagau tu tatra sparshalabha nasti iti karanat tatra vyarthau eva. It's of no use. So tasmai Vasudevaya namaha iti udaharanam. अत्र स्व असाधारणरूपेण वासुदेवत्वेन गम्यस्य भगवतः असाधारणरूपेण आमा in his distinct form आमा स्व असाधारणरूपेण वासुदेवत्वेन गम्यस्य भगवतः भङ्ग्यन्तरेण राहुवधूकुच वैयर्थ्यकारित्वेन अभिधानात् पर्यायोक्तलक्षणसमन्वयः. Instead of saying directly स्व असाधारणरूपेण वासुदेवत्वेन गम्यस्य, Vasudeva is the gamyam here. Vasudevatvam, being Vasudeva, is the gamya. That is the pratiyamanam. The suggested meaning here is Vasudeva or Vishnu in his very distinct form of probably Mohini Avataram, right? Tadrisha Mohini Avatara Rupena Vidyamanaya Vasudevaya Namaha iti Vaktavyam. But instead of saying it directly like this, Bhagavataha, Bhangyantarena, in a more beautiful manner. Actually, this is a very bad example that we usually say, but this is the example that is there in Chandraloka. So it's fine. We'll just read it for the sake of it being mentioned in the text. So, Rahu Vadhu Kucha Vayarthyakaritvat. Yena Vasudevena Rahu Vadhu Kucho Kuchayoho Vayarthyam Karitam. Tat Karitvam Vasudeve Vartate. So he becomes the person who has rendered her stanam as futile. Iti abhidanat paryayokta lakshana samanvayah. It's conveyed in a more figurative manner, in a more roundabout manner. That's all. Okay. Aseva aparam udaharanam. This is a very beautiful shloka. Lokam pashyati yasyangrihi. Sa yasyangrim na pashyati. Tabhyam api अपरिच्छेद्या विद्या विश्वगुरोः तव यस्य अक्षपादः इति अस्ति. अक्षपादः is I think इवरलिया गौतमर ननिकर or in the Mimamsa Tarkikar, yes, he is a follower of Nyaya philosophy. He is called Akshapada Gautama Muni. Yes, Gautama Muni, who is the propounder of the Nyaya Shastra. He is called Akshapada, one whose feet have eyes. So, yasya angrihi lokam pashyati, one whose feet is looking at the world. So, angrihi akshapadasya angrihi lokam pashyati. Such a lokaha yasya patanjalehe angrim na pashyati. And the same world does not see the legs of Patanjali, because Patanjali is Vyagrapada. He has only the feet of a tiger. He doesn't have feet, normal human feet. So, Akshapa yasya angrihi lokam pashyati, sa lokaha yasya angrim na pashyati. So here yasya angrihi lokam pashyati. This loka goes here to the saha. So then atra saha lokaha yasya angrim na pashyati. Now tabhyam is actually, these two yasya should go with the tabhyam here. Both Akshapada and Vyagrapada tabhyam aparichedya vidya vishwaguroho tava. Vishwaguroho tava vidya tabhyam aparichedya. Your learning cannot be understood by even those two, even Akshapada and Vyagrapada. Those two cannot see at all. Patanjali vandu பாம்பு இல்லையே, எங்க இருந்து பாம்புக்கு எதுக்கு வரையில அதுக்கு எனக்கு புரியல.
ஆதிசேஷ அவதாரஸ்ய ஆதிசேஷ.
He is Adisheshas இதுங்கிறதுனால சொல்றீங்களா? பதஞ்சலி வியாகிரபாதர் வேறையோ?
ஆமா.
சாரி கரெக்ட், யூ ஆர் ரைட். ஆமா ஆமாமா, நான் வந்து ரெண்டு பேரும் தனித்தனி பர்சனுங்கிறதே ஒரு நிமிஷம் கன்ஃபியூஸ் ஆயிடுது. பதஞ்சலிங்கிறது எஸ். ஸோ ஆதிசேஷனுங்கிறதுனால பாம்புக்கு கால் கிடையாது. கரெக்ட், ரைட். So akshapadaha yasya pade akshini vartante. So the vartete, one whose legs have two eyes, and one whose leg nobody sees because he is the avataram of Adishesha, and so a snake does not have legs. So the people do not see his legs. That is why Akshapada and Vyagrapada, beyond Tabhyam, inge patalna. So Gautama Patanjalibhyam Vishwaguroho Tava Vidya Aparichedya Ityasya Swa Asadharana Rupabhyam Akshapadatva Patanjalitvabhyam Gamyo Rupantarabhyam Abhito. These two, whom instead of mentioning directly as Akshapada or Gautama Muni and Patanjali as Sheshavatara, instead of saying that directly, he is saying it in a roundabout manner. Yeah. So tabhyam he Vishwaguroho tava vidya aparichedya. Your learning cannot be parichedyamna, to distinguish and understand. Nobody can distinguish and understand your learning even by those two who are supposed to be great people. Mimamsa is a analysis of semantic analysis is done by Mimamsa. Nyaya, logic, also goes through about sentence analysis. Patanjali, we know he is a grammarian. So both, neither by the logician nor by the grammarian, your learning can be understood. Okay. Dvitiyam paryayoktam. Paryayoktam tadapyahuhu yat vyajena ishtasadhanam yami chutalatam drashtum yuvabhyam asyatam iha. Idu vyajena karyantarena uktam. Ore nimisham. Vyajena uktam. Inge kinchit karyam, something that is ishta sadhanam, something that we want to achieve, is being used in the disguise of another karyam. So vyajena karyantara chalena ishtasya arthasya swasya parasya இந்த ஒரு சாக்கு போக்கு சொல்லிட்டு போறதுங்கிறது இல்ல, என்னத்தையோ பண்ண போறேன்னு சொல்றது, ஆனா ஆக்சுவலி your intention would be something else. அந்த மாதிரி இங்க. So ishtasya arthasya swasya parasya va ishtasya karyasya sadhanam iti yat tadapi paryayoktam uktam. Paryayoktam ahuhu. So this is also another roundabout way of conveying your wish. You want to do something, but you are saying that you are going to do something else. So karyantara vyajena, in the disguise of another karyam, ishta karya sadhanam, you are actually achieving what you want. That is the second type of paryayokta. Aham chutalatam drashtum yami yuvabhyam iha atraiva asyatam. So someone who wants to go and meet Nayaka, illa Nayika, the Nayaka wants to go and meet Nayika. So he has two friends who are there. You both just sit here. Let me go and see the creeper and come. His Ishta Sadhanam is only to see probably the Nayika. But then in the Madri, he wants to have a one-on-one session with the Nayika. But if these two also tag along, then there is no purpose there, right, of meeting her alone. So he wants to meet her alone, and hence he says you both be here. Atra swasannidhau lajja, or it's the other way around. The Vyakyata is taking it in the other way around. Okay, you both just be here. I will go and look at the creeper. Here, probably the Nayika and the Nayaka are the two people here. Yuvabhyam can be very misleading here. It can mean two men who are also sitting, or a Nayika and Nayaka. So the Vyakyata takes it in that manner, and he says, Swasannidhau, in his own presence, Lajjamana yoho Nayika Nayaka yoho viharaya, for them to freely, meet. There is someone who is tagging along as a friend, but the other two have to meet here. So for them to freely talk with each other, Viviktata Sampadanam Ichanti Saki. The Saki wants to provide a space for them. Viviktamna, emptiness. Yeah? Vivikta is privacy. So wanting to provide privacy for those two people, this Sakhi, she says, Chutalata darshana vyajayana gacchati. She says, I will go and look at the mango creeper. So in the disguise of going to see a Chutalata, swa abhishtam, what is her wish? She wants them to freely talk to each other. That is her abhishtam. That gets solved here. So naika nayaka yoho, ரெண்டுமே நாயிகா நாயிகான்னு போடுறது. So நாயிகா நாயகயோஹோ இஷ்டம் வா சாதயதி. Either it is her wish not to intrude in their privacy. At the same time, it is also fulfilling the wish of the nayika and the nayaka. So both are solved here. You can either split it into two and say swasyaiva ishta sadhanam ekam paryayoktam. The other one is anyasya ishta sadhanam. It can be two separate things, or in the same action you can solve both problems. Like for example here, she wants to give them space, so she goes, but in this case it's not that she wants to see the mango creeper. All okay. Asyaiva aparam udaharanam dehimat kandukam radhe paridhana niguhitam iti visramsayan nivim tasyah krishno mude astu naha. Dehimat kandukam radhe he radhe paridhana niguhitam mat kandukam dehi. So this is a vyajam. He wants to, Krishna wants to remove her vastram here. So that is his intention. But he says, paridhana niguhitam mat kandukam. My ball is, you're keeping my play toy in your sari. You have actually covered it with your vastram. Paridhana niguhitam. You have covered it with your sari. So dehi, give it to me. Iti, he uses force and tasyaha visramsaya nivim visramsayan, as he is untying the knot on her vastram. He says, you have actually hidden my kandukam, and so give it to me. Dehi iti tasyaha radhayaha nivim visramsayan krishnaha naha mude astu. May he give us pleasure. It's a Shringara Purvakamana, it's a shloka. Atra Kanduka Sadbhava Shodhanartham. As if he is trying to check whether the Kandukam is present with her or not. It is actually Nivi Visramsana Vyajena. He uses this untying of the sari as a vyaja, as a disguise, in order to check whether she has the ball or not. But then his abhishtam is vastrapaharana. So Krishna swa abhishtam sadhayati. She becomes lajja, the lajja overcomes her, and hence it is a roundabout way of achieving what he wants to achieve here. So this is the second type of Paryayokta. The next one is Vyajastuti. There are two types of Vyajastuti. One is Nindaya Stutihi and Stutya Ninda. This is very common in Tamil also. The Vyajastuti is Naraiya.
Vanjaga Pugachi.
Vanjaga Pugachi. Adena. Vanjaga Pugachi. This you will also find in Tirumurai. Tirumurai. Idila Padigangalliyo irukku. Vaishnava Sampradayathliyum and the Nalayiru Prabandhangalliyo irukku. உங்களுக்கு இந்த மாதிரி நிறைய ஒரு நிமிஷம். The Vanja Pugachi, this is not only in Shringara, you can also find it in Bhakti verses also, Bhakti poetry also. So, Uktihi, Vyajastutihi, Ninda Stutibhyam Stuti Nindayoho. Nindaya Stutihi, Stutya Ninda. So, Nindaya Stutehe Uktihi ipdi pirchikanu. He actually does a good job in the Vyakyanam, so we can just go directly and read the Vyakyanam. It's just a explanation of the line. Ninda stutibhyam. Stuti nindayoho uktihi abhivyaktihi. Saying of this in the form of Ninda or Stuti. So Vyajastuti alankara. Vyajanale, it is in disguise. You are praising in disguise. Whether the resultant is a praise or resultant is Ninda depends. Ninda Vyajena Stutehe Uktihi. Stutehe Gamane. The first one is in the disguise of a criticism, you're actually praising someone. And the praise is gamanam. Gamanam pratiyamanam is suggested. You are using ninda or criticizing a person in vachyartha, but the gamyamana artha or the suggestive meaning is actually stuti. You can either praise someone in disguise, pugadala, ana the gamyamanam tu tatra nindoktihi eva gamyamana vartate. The suggested, if there is a suggestion of criticism, and in the disguise of stuti, which is the vachyartha, then it is the second type. So vyajastutihi iti nishkarshaha. Tatha cha vyajastutihi dvidha nindaya stutihi stutya ninda. Kramena vyajena stutihi ninda vyajena stutihi vyaja rupa stutihi iti cha vyutpattihi vyajastuti shabdasya bodhya. You can have two ways of doing the vyutpatti for this. You can either do a madhyama padalopi samasaha as vyaja rupa stutihi or vyajam eva stutihi iti, or you can do it as vyajena stutihi the tritiya tatpurusha. Nindaya stutehe avagamana rupayaha vyajastutehe udaharanam. So the first example is, it seems like someone is criticizing someone, but he is actually trying to intend a praise. Kaha swardhuni vivekaste nayasi papino api divam patakino api divam na patrike. Kaswardhune vivekaste nayase papino divam. He swardhuni. Swardhuni is Ganga. Swarge pravaha yasyaha swardhuni iti. So he swardhuni, one who flows in the swarga, Ganga, te vivekaha kaha. Where is your discriminating power? You don't seem to have any vivekam at all. Why? Papinaha divam nayase. You are taking those sinners, those who have committed sins, those who have committed papam, you are taking them to swarga. Where is your intelligence? Another, the praise is such that whatever papam a person has done, the moment he takes a bath in Ganga, his papa shamanam bhavati. He has completely gotten rid of his papam, so much so that he becomes eligible for swarga. He swardhani Gange te vivekaha kaha. Where is your discrimination? Bheda bedastu nasti eva bheda bedo. So nasti te vivekaha, because yasmat tvam papinaha divam swargam nayase ityatra tava vivekaha nasti. Nobody takes or nobody does good thing for a person who has done sin, but you are doing a great thing for him. So ninda vyajena maha patakinamapi, even if they have done great sins, tathapi papa prashamanena, by getting rid of their papam, swarga pradana shakta, you are capable of giving swargam. Iti Gangayaha prabhava atishaya stutihi eva kriyate. So there is actually a stotram being done for Ganga here, and not a ninda in reality. Asyaha अपरम उदाहरणम kaste shauryaपदो योद्धुम त्वय्येकं सप्तिमास्यते त्वय्येकं सप्तिमास्थिते. Okay. त्वय्येकं सप्तिमास्थिते सप्त सप्ति समारूढ़ा भवन्ति परिपन्थिनः. This is a poet is addressing a king and saying, hey Rajan, Twayi ekam saptim asthite sati kaha te yodhum shaurya padaha. First word. Kaha te shaurya madaha irkano. Okay. Te shaurya madaha kaha. Yeah. This. Te shaurya madaha kaha. Yodhum shaurya madaha. Adoda connect panikano, right? Yodhum is the reason. Adadu yuddhe, yuddhaya shaurya madaha kahate. Why do you have such an arrogance with respect to your bravery. You think you are the most brave person in the battlefield. Shaurya madaha. Adavadhu this Shauryamangirthu is more in the sense of his capability to fight. So Yodhum te
Timir.
Shaurya madaha kaha.
Timir.
திமிரு ஆமா ரொம்ப திமிரு ஜாஸ்தியா இருக்கேன் உனக்கு நீ ஆனா ஒரு குதிரையில தான் ஏறிட்டு இருக்க உன்னுடைய எதிரி எல்லாம் 7 குதிரையில ஏறிட்டு இருக்கா அப்படிங்கிறார் so why do you have so much of arrogance with respect to your skill in fighting see tvayi ekam saptim asthite while you are on one horse your enemies sapta sapti samarudhaha paripantinaha bhavanti your enemies whereas they are riding 7 horses at a time you are only riding one horse tvayi आस्थिते सति इति सति सप्तमी तत्र so tvayi ekam saptim आस्थिते सति saptihi iti ashvaha so even while you are climbing onto only one horse your enemies paripantinaha sapta saptim samarudhaha sapta sapti samarudhaha they are people who have already taken the reins of sapta 7 sapti ashwa now sapta sapti is also a terminology given to Surya. Surya has 7 horses. The sun usually rides a chariot with one wheel and 7 horses. So, sapta sapti samarudhaha iti chet Surya mandale samarudhaha. While you are riding on your horse and you are in the battlefield, you kill all of your enemies and they are ready to go to Veeraswargam. And on their way to Veeraswargam, they actually have to travel through the Surya Mandala to go to Veeraswargam. That is the pathway that these the people who die in the battlefield take. So through that path of the Surya Mandala. So while you are standing on one horse, they are already dead and they are in the Surya Mandalam. So it is a praise for the king here. So atra yodhum ragni eka ashva samarudhe sati appadi eduthukarar okay that when yodhum yuddhaya yada you have not even started fighting even before that this is even more beautiful instead of taking yodhum in the first sentence take it in the second sentence kaste shaurya madaha why do you have so much of arrogance with respect to your bravery yodhum tvayi eka saptim samarudhe sati in order to fight you have not even started fighting in order to fight when the king ekashva samarudhe sati when he climbs onto one horse tat shatravaha his enemies saptashvamarudhaha bhavanti they are actually climbing onto 7 horses at the same time so how can you claim to be better than them tasmat mastu rajnyaha shauryamadaha iti nindavyajena this is like criticizing the king but the actual stuti the actual suggested vivaksha is stuti para Rajnya Yuddhe Hataha, those people who have been killed by the king in the battle, Surya Mandalam Bhitva, they cut across the Surya Mandala and Divam Gachanti, they go to Swargam. Iti Shaurya Stutihi Eva Kriyate. Because he is so brave, even before he gets into the battlefield, they are all up, they die and they go to the Surya Mandalama. It is just a type of exaggeration also here. So nindaya stuti rupa vyajastutihi sapta saptayaha ashvaha yasya saha iti suryaha sapta cha te saptayaha cha iti ubhayatha yojanam when you want to use that word for the enemies then you say in both ways when you want to show the virodha or when you want to show the ninda then you call it as sapta cha te saptayaha in karmadharaya saptihi iti chet ashvaha so there are 7 horses ade when you want to use it in the sense of vivaksha then you say surya mandala okay clear arka
okay
the next one is stutya ninda avamana rupayaha vyajastutehe udaharanam the vachyartha will be stuti but the gamyamana artha would be ninda sadhu duti punas sadhu kartavyam kimataf param yan madarthe vinunasi dantairapi nakhairapi this is a naika who is talking to a duti a messenger she wants to the naika wants to send a message to the nayaka she uses this messenger, Duti, who is her Sakhi, and she gives the message to her and asks her to go and give the message to the Nayaka. She goes there and she has enjoyed him. She has been with him and comes back. So they have betrayed the Nayika now. So the Nayika is actually very upset with this Duti. So she is saying the shloka. She says, Sadhu Duti, punaha, sadhu, kartavyam kim atav param. Sadhu, punaha sadhu. What you have done is great. Again, I have to applaud you for this action. Punaha sadhu. Kartavyam kim atav param. What else do you have to do? You know, you have actually tortured your own body for my sake. Yat, because madarthe, for the sake of me, dantaihi api nakhaihi api viluna asi, viluna vidarita asi. You have teeth marks and nail marks on your body, and you have tortured yourself for my case. You know, to go and convey my message to him, you have actually gone through so much of hardships. Now, this is like Stuti in Vachyartha, but she is actually criticizing her, saying, you know, you have actually tvaya tatra gatva ramitam. You have enjoyed him so much so that I can see the nail marks and bite marks of both your union on you. So that is more like you have betrayed me, iti. So, he Duti, sadhu punas sadhu, tvaya prashamsarham kimapi kritam. You have done something great, shlaghaniyam. Atav param kartavyam kim asti. What more is there for you to do to me that you have actually undergone so much of torture for me? Tvam madarthe nakhaihi dantaihi cha, with nails and teeth, viluna vidarita asi. You have been wounded by nails and bite marks. Ityatra Nayakam samanetum preshita Duti. The Duti was actually sent to pacify the Nayaka and bring him to the Nayika. That sambhogam anubhuya. She has actually had a lovemaking with him. Samagata. And then she has come here. Now she had made love to him and then she has come here. And on her body also that signs are there. So Sharire paridrishyamana danta nakha kshataihi. The wounds of the bite marks and the nail marks are seen in her body. Jnata tattvaya nayikaya. Now the nayika is aware of the situation because of seeing these marks. So this iti evam stuti vyajena nindyate. She is actually telling her that you have betrayed me in this manner. I asked you to go and satisfy, you know, I asked you to go and, you know, Nataja Parti Aishin Vartakaha Namche, you have actually betrayed me. So Tasmat Stutya Ninda Paryavasayini Vyajastuti. So this Paryavasayini Tukta Tatra, it goes and ends in Ninda through Stuti. Aparam Udaharanam Ardham Danava Vairina Girijayapi Ardham Harasya Hritam. Deva Itham Jagatitale Purahara Bhave Samunmilati Ganga Sagaram Ambaram Shashikala Nagadhipak Shmatalam Sarvajñatvam Adhishwaratvam Agamat Tvam Mamcha Bhikshatanam. It's a very cute shloka, but at the same time, it's a Daridra Kavihi Atra Vadati. He is a very, poor poet, and he is writing the shloka here. He is actually using Ninda Dwara Atra Stuti Dwara Ninda Meva Karoti iti. Nindaya Stutehe Eva Paryavasanam Bhavati Atra. Kimartham? He is actually using it as Stuti Ninda ke example madri solrar. No. Nindameva karoti iti asti kalu. So this is actually another example of the earlier one only. Nindaya stutihi ke, there is another example. So please take this as an example for Stutya Ninda. Okay, a criticism is done in the form of praise. Enna solrar? Ardham Danava Vairina Neetam. So he is actually praising a king. He is. Hold on 1 minute.
This
So stuvan niva nindam karoti. He is actually doing a stuti. So stutya ninda. There is one vyakhyata who has given the meaning as ninda ke dwara stuti vyakt karta hai engrar. Adu vande it is wrong. You have to change it. Stuti dwara ninda ko vyakt karta hai. Apdidan varno. Okay. So ardham, let's look at the meaning here. So he is looking at the king and he is saying, you are like Bhagavan Shankara. So ardham danava vairina hritam. Danava vairi is the enemy of the so Vishnu took half of your body. Daityanam shatruhu Vishnu took half of your body. The other half was taken by Girija. Parvati. So Ardhanarishwara. So Ardham was taken by him. Adikapra Hari also took other half of your body. Abdi irukumbodhu Shankara Narayana. Yeah. So half of your body went to this person, half of your body went to Ardhanari. Abdi irukumbodhu Ardham Shivasyapi Ahritam Girijaya. Girija also took one half. Deva Itham Jagatitale Smara Hara Abhave. When there is Smaraharaha Manmathasya Shatruhu Kandarpa Darpaha Ilya Kandarpa Darpagnam Isham Abdingro or Ilya Margavandu Stotratla. So he is the enemy of Manmatha. So this enemy of Manmatha who had destroyed Manmatha, he is completely absent in this entire world. So Smarahara Abhave Jagatitale Samunnilati Sati. When the absence of Shiva is seen in this world, Ganga, Sagaram, Ambaram, Shashikala, Nagadhipaha, Kshmatalam, Sarvajñatvam, Adhishwaratvam, Agamatvam, Mamcha Bhikshatanam. All of these things have gone to you. Now the king has become the owner of Ganga. That is, he is the Chakravarti iti karanat. Ganga tasya rajye eva vartate. So Ganga, Sagaram has also gone to him because Sagara paryantam tasya rajyam vartate. Ambaram, Akasham, because Saha Bhumipati, he rules the entire Prithvi, so the Akasham also belongs to him. Shashikala, the Chandra is with you. Nagadhipaha, you are equal to Shiva. Nagadhipaha, the epithet of being the king of the serpents is also with you. Now, all of these things are there with you, right? Or Patalalokam Prati, until the Patalalokam, your rule extends. So, Tribhuvana Patihi iti. Tvam. Kshmatalam, this bhumi is also yours. Akasham is yours. Nagadhipaha, so you are the king of the snakes also, or the snake king is also yours. Sarvajñatvam, you know everything. Adhishwaratvam, you also have royalty. That is, you can command everybody in this entire world. All of these qualities have gone to you. Tvam Agamat, which are all belonging to Shiva here. Ganga, Samudram, Ambaram, all of these belong to Shiva. Sarvajñaha Saha, Adhishwaraha Saha. All of these qualities have gone to the king. But what is left? Bhiksha Patram. That Bhiksha Patram is there with me. Mamcha Bhikshatanam. So the Gamyamana Artham here is, so Hari Parvatibhyam Apahrita Vigrahasya Ishwarasya. Shiva, whose body, half of it was taken by Narayana and the other half was taken by Parvati. Sarvajñatvam Adhishwaratvam cha Tvam Agamat. All of these things have gone to you. That is, it has gone to the king. Now the king has taken most of the qualities of Shankara, Shiva. Bhikshatanam tu mam iti rajanam sthuvan iva. As if he is praising. He is actually saying, Arthi, this Bhikshukaha, the Daridra Kavihi, what he is saying is, you are a know-it-all. You know everything. And the money is also under your control because all three worlds are under your control. Why are you not giving me anything? That is a criticism he is trying to say. If all of these qualities are present in you, if the entire world is with you, and you also know all of these things, so Sarvajñaha, Sarveshwaraha cha sanna, Madiyam Vaidushyam, you can see that the way he has expressed the shloka itself shows his cleverness and his scholarliness. Madiyam Vaidushyam, Daridryam cha jnatva, because you are Sarvajña, you are capable of understanding my scholarliness, and you also know that I am in poverty and that I need things. Having known this, na kimapi mahyam dadasi, you are not giving me anything. Apo he can say, no, I don't have wealth under my command. No, no, you are Trilokadhipatihi. Then which means you must have so much of wealth in you. Iti Rajnyaha nindameva karoti iti Vyajastutihi. So it is the correct aparam udaharanam. So stutya ninda, confuse ahum. This is a very beautiful shloka. Ardham danava vairina girijayapi ardham shivasya ahritam. Deva ittham jagati itale smarahara bhave samunmilati Ganga Sagaram Ambaram Shashikala Nagadhipaha Kshmatalam Sarvajñatvam Adhishwaratvam Agamat-tvam Mamcha Bhikshatanam. Okay. The next one is Vyajananda. Kayoda Ertena, it will be very confusing. So